the investigation and the revolution in investigation. It's implied by this name, search the way you think, and you've seen products that do not behave that way. But you know our name. We're 25 years old. We're a publicly traded company. We have the strong backing of our parent company, Delta Electronics. We also are a famous first in so many different categories, like fisheye, like first adopter in the edge embedded IoT security for endpoints. So many different ways, but that's our history. And because of limited time, I'm not going to go all the way deep into our history because we use up all of our time and you'd miss lunch. But when it comes to our capability and the strong pattern of what we're going to offer you, it's also driven by the fact that you see 10% goes back into R&D. So we stay on that edge. We keep ourselves forward on that edge. We also are, I'm going to add one more famous first in terms of the compact and the different form factors that architects find it hard to, it's hard to find an alternative for some of the advantages that we bring to the challenging architectural circumstances, but also little environmental things like minus 40 degrees centigrade. So we've evolved, though. You heard me romancing the hardware and romancing the power of the edge device. We've evolved from a camera maker to a cloud solution provider. But we haven't wandered away from the advantage that we've been building for years in having an ideal edge for an ideal architecture for ideal AI. So let's talk about the non-ideal, the challenges that the end user faces when we're talking about security systems today that are under siege with cybersecurity threats. We'll just call it the network, the infrastructure, the limitations of bandwidth or the limitations of network stability. Those create challenges for adopting architectures if they're not well suited for the full variety of these environments, these infrastructures, these challenges. Operational efficiencies means, well, the world needs for things to be maintained almost effortlessly. Anything short of that, we can start to call inefficient. We can call, also inefficient is false alarms. And last but not least, the gaps, the feature gaps that prevent from the prevented investigation from even happening in the first place. So it is it is a tough decision going to cloud. We de-risk that decision by offering a way to tolerate that, again, the full range, the full gamut. When you have existing cameras, that's a different world than when you start with a greenfield, or when it's worth it, when the justification is there to go a deeper AI advantage with an end-to-end adoption. But for the onesie-twosies, direct-to-cloud is a very easy and very robust solution. Don't always have that choice. We need to also have a world where we not only tolerate, but actually add value to existing infrastructure. Both of these together, we consider the hybrid, but there's more to what we're offering you, and that's why I'm here giving you this baseline. First, let's look at these two at work in a live situation. Pacific Northwest, extreme premium systems integrator, American Veteran Security, they have a job to do, which is they have many branches that they monitor on behalf of customers, many auto dealerships, and the pain point was, for them, many false alarms. The disparate multi-site circumstances where managing the system is actually managing many systems. The swivel chair and not a single pane of glass, the labor-intensive installation, but also the labor-intensive operation, the frequent, costly on-site checks necessary. After adopting our cloud infrastructure, in both flavors, both direct to cloud and bridge to cloud, to tolerate, again, that variety. What we have is delivery. We delivered 90% reduction in false alarms. So cost reductions accordingly. Delivered the unified multi-site management, cost reductions accordingly. The labor savings at the point of install, but also the labor savings on a per device basis ongoing for the life cycle of the device, and timely remote updates. So when you deliver those things, we're talking still about the foundation. We haven't even gotten into the new stuff yet. What we'll do now is what we see here is object being classified with its attributes. And briefly you saw the mention of the trajectory or the path extraction. Now there's other things that are important too that can snap onto that. But the crux is that object and its behavior and its attributes. Being able to do that, a young person holding a phone, that just went by very quickly, but that is a sea change. That is an absolute sea change to go from what we used to do for investigations to what we now do. And I'm gonna now make you want to go to the booth and see what we have to show you this enhanced user experience with semantic search. So this will be an appetizer. Sorry to have all these food references. What we see here is going to be at the top. And my apologies to those of you that are even 8 feet away from the screen because it's very small. But what we see here is it's a new search for something at a time and at a place. But it's typed the way you would say it to another human, okay? Search the way you think. Search the way you talk. And oh, by the way, you don't always think in perfect spelling, do you? So we're gonna replace the results below, and what's gonna happen is once we see it carry out, there's an object with properties at a place at a time. And that time doesn't even have to be very specific. We could be asking for the last 3 weeks, we could be asking for the last 3 hours. Next, what's gonna happen is all of those results pour in according to what matches what we just asked for. I'm gonna fast forward in the interest of time, but the crux of looking for a person is all of this was done at the edge to gather the metadata together so that this was extremely efficient. This fed probably per camera something to the order of 30 kilobits per second to the cloud. Letting that soak in, now I'll move on. But that's a big difference than what you would hear talked about from a 5 megapixel camera and when we're talking about pushing video to the cloud. Now the car. Well, it's going to be a rerun, all right? So we're looking for an object. We're looking for what is it about that object, when and where. Very simply. Now we've got seconds left by my estimation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, for the benefit of those of you in the back of the room, I'm going to show you what just happened there in more legible form. Okay, there's proof. There was results for that search. So, and by the way, this is so much better when the screen is this far away from you at our booth. Let me just remind you of that fact. Search the way you think is not clicking menus. It is not selecting. It is not pull down. It is not any of this. It is as the way we speak what we're looking for to another human. That means white SUV at a place, at a time, at a date and a time. But we didn't have to do pull down menus to do that. Now you don't have to search for where to see this. Booth 22043, 22043, I'll say it one more time, 22043. It's the best place to experience this by far. And the last thing on our agenda is for me to thank you so much for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you at our booth.